Welcome, everyone, to the first of the week webinars. We got 4 webinars ready to go. My name is Timothy Cross. I am the ShareFaith Media Director here at Ministry Brands, and we have
David Choate, the director of ShareFaith Kids. Man, last week was fantastic. Excited for our final week lead up to Easter. Holy Week is here, Tim. It's cool.
It's here. And before we kind of share what's coming up, we had just a question for all of you, because today's webinar is a very specific focus. And we're excited to kind of cover what today is going to be on. But before we get there, the question is how prepared is your kids' ministry for online Easter Sunday? Green, all systems go.
We're gonna use the traffic light system here.
Like green light, red light, yellow light. Well, green light is all systems ready to go. What's yellow, David?
We're going to be like proceeding with caution. So we think it's going to work, but there's still,
Good work.
That thing. You got that healthy fear that it might not work.
Yep. And red is like, oh my goodness, we need help. And that is what today's webinar is for. It is for your red lighters. All you people who run the red lights, you shouldn't do that.
We want to specifically welcome our yellow lighters and red lighters. Green lighters, go ahead and just share your feedback, though. As we go through this presentation today, any tips or tricks that you have, please share those in the comments section. That would be fantastic. I know people would love to hear them.
Yep. So today, if you didn't know, we've been doing daily webinars since last Tuesday, all designed around this concept of helping your church prepare for Easter. I said Cheesters. I don't know why I said that. Church prepare for Easter. It's Monday, everybody. It's Monday. And each day, it's an hour-long webinar where we have various focuses. We'll bring various guests and or specialists on to kind of talk about what that main topic for that webinar is. So we have quite a few already available. David will kind of talk about what's coming up, but just kind of give you a recap. So last Tuesday, we did Easter Online overview, just a big picture on everything that you needed to know to get your Easter service online. Wednesday, we had Pastor Brandon from Life Church Tulsa with us, and we talked live streaming, and Sean Dunster jumped in at the end, kind of talked about church streaming and went into some specifics there. Thursday, we talked digital giving with Pastor David, an amazing pastor from a church called Claymore Assembly. And we had Casey Frazier from Ministry Brands, our very own expert, and all talking digital giving. So that was just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people. Then we had Friday. Friday, we had a huge panel of people jumping in. We had Matt Smith, an online pastor from Bent Tree Bible Fellowship. We had Jonathan Deathridge, a communications director and web strategist. And we had Rodney Ross, all talking about our Ministry One church app that is available to our Ministry Brands customers. And it's really easy to use and get set up. So there's so much content, and we have all of those links available to everyone. But yeah, there's a lot, David. It's amazing how much we covered last week.
It was great. And I think my favorite part of last week is that it was a good balance of technical, like know-how, here's how you're going to do it, and then a ton of heart, right?
Yep.
Some of the things shared by the pastors that came on were just like good perspectives, good challenges to our heart. I always think back to Pastor Brandon challenging us to be willing to fail and to try new things, especially in this season. So that was good. This week, this was your word that you stumbled on last week, Tim. We have a smorgasbord of fantastic content coming. Today, we're going to be talking all about kids ministry, so that's exciting. We're looking forward to that. We also want to let you know, live streaming has been a huge topic, and we've gotten so much interest related to that today through Thursday, we are going to be doing daily webinars. Churchstreaming.tv is going to be hosting those every day of the week, Monday through Thursday. So moderators are going to be providing links so that you can sign up for that. Tuesday, we're going to have a webinar on mastering mass communication. So that's everything from text, email, voicemail, social media. And we're going to have a great guest, Dylan from High Ground Solutions, is going to come in and talk to us. We also have a bonus Tuesday webinar.
Bonus?
Yeah,
No,
I know.
Stop
Calm
it.
down.
We're
Calm
already
down.
throwing some. I love it.
Calm
Who doesn't like a
down.
bonus? All right.
This guy, you mentioned bonus webinar and he loses his mind. Bonus webinar, e-giving tips for parishes. That again is a separate registration. So we'll get you the sign up for that. Wednesday, this one I'm really intrigued by and excited to kind of dive into this topic, but it's rethinking risk, cybersecurity. And a lot is going on right now. There's been so much change in the way that we do church. And one thing we know is those people who have an intent to do bad things are always looking for opportunities and change and when our methods are shifting. And so I'm looking forward to a conversation with Ryan Carter from Protect My Ministry, and he's going to talk through some of the things we should be aware of. And then Thursday, we're going to have our final thoughts as we head into Good Friday and then into Easter. And one thing I'm looking forward to, in addition to everything else we'll cover on that day, is just an opportunity for you guys to share any of your prayer requests so that we can take those to our team, pray over them, and just really join with you as you enter into what we're hoping is going to be one of your best and most important days of ministry of the entire year.
Yep. Very good, David. And then just to kind of jump on the backside of that is if you have any questions during today's webinar, or if you are wondering about anything, there is a Q&A feature for the webinar, but you can also reach out to our care team at careteam@ministrybrands.com. Also, all the resources, all the webinars that we talked about, there's a big list and totally understandable.
What word would you use for that big list?
I can't say that word, David. Why do you keep making me try a smorgasbord? Is that it?
Yes,
Smorgasbord?
give him a hand.
Thank you.
Tim
I got,
I'll
do it later. Okay. So with that being said, please take some time. If you have any questions, email us. We are here. We are available. Ministry Brands is a company that cares about the church. We have a huge group of individual brands have come together under one banner, and we are passionate about helping the church succeed with technology. So if you need anything, reach out. We're here for you. We got your back. And then in addition to that, we also have that website available that you can see all of the webinars that we've done. We also have a ton of additional resources available to you. And this takes you beyond just Easter. Right now, we're talking Easter online. That's our big focus. But every principle that we're teaching in these webinars extends beyond just Easter, and it gets you set up to be successful during this time with everything that's going on in the world. It allows you it gives you the tools that you need to be successful online. So check that out. And without further ado, David, can you tell everyone who our guests are today?
Let's bring on today's guests ourselves. Oh, man.
You're welcome, everybody.
Oh, whoa, the numbers are plummeting here. I'm seeing. Calm down. Give us a chance. Today, we're going to be talking kids ministry. And as we jump into this, I was talking with Tim about that this morning. Our goal is to go, hey, today's Monday, Easter Sunday, and what can we do that would bring you the most value for your kids ministry? Specifically, not just like perspectives or ideas, but what could we do that you could actually take and make something and have it ready to go for Easter? So what we're going to talk about today is how you can build your own pre-made Easter service. And it's going to involve certain parts that you video yourself, you talking into your phone or whatever and recording that. And then other parts where you bring in and edit in a bunch of free resources that we're offering here at ShareFaith Kids. So as we get started, there's two really important links we want to make sure that everyone watching right now has a hold of. One of them is our Easter online kids service outline. You might have a slide of that. I have it all printed out here. So it's this, if you're wondering what this is paper. Some of us still use this stuff, but we're going to be providing it to you as a PDF. And it's going to walk you through step by step how we're going to put this service together. And it makes it real clear, like here's the script of something you can say, and here's the element that we're providing free to edit in. And then the other link that's really important that we want to make sure you have, and moderators will drop it, is a link to our free Easter lesson download. And I've just got like a screenshot of what's in that download. It's got an activity page, activity pages and comics, plus we threw in some bonus activities in there, our slideshow and curriculum, and then a whole bundle of videos in there.
Yeah, like David was saying when we were talking earlier, our goal was really today is helping you get prepared for Easter this weekend with your kids ministry. And David has just shown you everything essentially. And we're going to go over this step by step, what you could do today to have a great online experience for your kids ministry. And we've given away all these visuals, including a lot of the videos that we'll go over. So we're going to get into all of that. We're really excited.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So just as we start, before we dive in real quick, if you don't know, ShareFaith Kids, it's an incredible online kids ministry resource. We have over 130 kids Bible lessons, and each one of our lessons is based on scripture. So rather than a theme, it's always a Bible story like Abraham and Isaac or Cain and Abel or the resurrection. And our goal here is to make it accessible to churches of all denominations. And I think we've been pretty successful in that. We really have a wide range of churches that love and use our resources. In each one of these lessons, you'll find a Bible video, a teaching slideshow, activity pages, family devotionals, and more. And then we also have what we call essentials content, which includes worship videos. We're going to have one of those for you that I'm excited to show. That'll have hand motions, Bible comics. So we actually have an Easter Bible comic as well, and Spanish videos. And then finally, a little bit more about us. We have a full VBS program, actually 3 of them, and a lesson scheduler and a kids app. But enough ShareFaith Kids promotion. Let's just get into it and start talking this through a little bit.
Before we do, really quick, I don't think people, I would love to have, this is not on script, by the way, everyone, but David, I would love for you to just share your background a bit, because you are the ShareFaith Kids director, but before you kind of stepped into the role that you do now, you're a kids pastor.
Yeah,
you
no,
live
I
and
am.
breathe this stuff.
Some of you are like, this guy's too goofy to be led on a webinar. And so there is a bit of that. I do love kids. I love teaching kids, especially just the honesty and the fun and the humor, but also the ability to get right to the heart of spiritual truth so easily. You know, kids are so willing to just listen, and their hearts are open. And so it's a privilege to serve our kids. Before that, I was a graphic designer. And so a lot of what came into ShareFaith Kids is a sensibility that said, I want stuff to be like scripturally sound and gospel centered, but I also want it to look amazing. I want it to be beautiful and vibrant. And I think we've struck a good little balance there.
Yeah, no, it's good. I wanted people to hear that, because we're going to show a lot of ShareFaith Kids today, and I want people to remember, like, your heart. This is the heart of the creator behind this whole thing. It's that David wanted to create something that was visually engaging, because there's not a lot of kids curriculum out there, and some of the resources that are available aren't visually engaging. And so David really went out that way. And then something I really wanted to emphasize was scripturally based, but open to and available for every denomination out there, not limited to any specific denomination. That if we kept it scripturally based and just focused on the big picture stories, we can make it available for every church, because we know that there's so many different types of churches out there, and we wanted to reach a lot of people. So yeah,
that's one of the cool things, man. When we see members from all over the world, it's just like blows me away.
True.
It's nuts. So
all right, so let's jump into this. The moment everyone's been waiting for.
So here, the big overview of what we're going to be doing today. First, we'll talk about your part. Your part in this is going to be looking at this script that we've provided and going, okay, I need to film an introduction to the service. I need to film a teaching. I need to film something that introduces a slideshow. So there's going to be parts in it that's up to you, where you'll figure out the best way to record yourself doing that. Tim, I've been on several kind of like kids Facebook groups, and there are some people where it's like, this is so hard to film myself. I'm like great talking to my kids, and there's an energy there, and I feel alive and passionate. But as soon as you put me in front of a camera, like I just glitch out. It doesn't work. And so you were a communications director, maybe some advice or tips for people as they're looking at that.
The best thing I would say is you just got to press forward. Like you got to just go for it. I know it's going to be different. Like right now, I'm in an office talking to a web camera, but even in doing so, you have to remember you're talking to somebody. Right now, it's through the technology of the camera. So even though it'll feel a little weird, and even though it's different, that doesn't mean that it's still not as important. And the best way to kind of push through is you just got to go for it. You'll get better as you do it. There's grace. Your kids will give you grace. You're never as bad as you think you are. You're always going to be more critical on yourself. Trust me, I know. So the best advice I have is just to go for it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And especially now with the church being in this, you have to be online. What are you going to do? Not teach the kids? What are you going to do? Like not share the gospel with them, the scripture, share Easter story? Like, no, that's not an option. Like, though we can't meet physically, that doesn't mean the good news isn't going to stop going forward.
And that's so good because you could go out and you could just get a pre-recorded video and show it. But what the unique thing that your kids ministry has that no other kids ministry has is you and the connection you have with your kids. And so we really want to have something here where you connect with your children. So your part is going to be recording yourself, certain elements. Our part is we've provided a ton of just beautiful elements from videos to slideshows and then take home things like activity pages, comic books, family devotionals. And you're going to integrate all of this content that we've provided along with the videos that you've shot. And then the final part of this is editing these two things together, the video that you've shot and the resources that we provide. Now, there's two ways that you could do this. One of them is live streaming. And that's a great option for some churches, but there definitely is a higher degree of difficulty when you're trying to mix a speaker and media live on the go. And so what we're talking about today is a pre-recorded kids service, right? Where you take the elements we've provided and the elements you shoot and you merge it into one. Tim, would you mind just running through some of the video editing softwares?
Yeah, so you have like the, pro level software, Adobe Premiere. You have some software like Camtasia, which isn't the pro level, but it's still a pretty decent level. You have some free options like iMovie if you're on Apple, OpenShot. There's another one called Sony Vegas. I mean, the truth is there's a lot of options out there. And here's what I would say. Here's the encouragement that I would share with you. If you're a kids pastor, you're a kids director, wherever you are, a Sunday school teacher, something that I've learned is that kids are way more advanced with technology than they should be, and they can edit videos probably better than me. And I've been doing it for my adult life. Like I've been doing it for 15 years now. And there's kids out there. So I would challenge you. It's like, think about this is a good opportunity to get others involved in this task of creating a Sunday school. Maybe you have a child of your own and in your family. Maybe they're, a teen. Like there's people out there that oh, you need to edit a video? Easy peasy. This is easy. I'll get this done for you. There is that element of, man, I don't even know where I'd begin with it. And there's so many resources out there. If you're the one that needs to kind of be the one to do it, there's YouTube that you can kind of look into. There's a lot of resources out there available, but definitely the first thing I would look at is look at the people that are already involved and see if there's anyone that could help you with it. I mean, for goodness sake, my 10-month-old son made his first video. I'm not saying it's good, but he did. It's adorable. I was hooked. It's gonna win a Grammy. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay. So when we're looking at video editing software, a couple things. OpenShot, free. Sony Vegas, free, Tim, is that correct?
Sony Vegas is not free, but it is one of the, I would say it's one of the easier software. Okay. So I believe it's for Mac as well. But Sony Vegas is definitely that entry level. That's not free, but it's not insanely expensive. Like Adobe Premiere, there's a monthly cost. It's not too bad. but there's a lot of bells and whistles that come with Premiere. Sony Vegas is a little bit more straightforward, I think, with the editing. But it's
Yeah.
just one thing that is, so here's a benefit. Here's one thing I forgot to mention is all video editing is the same. Once you understand the concept of what you're trying to do, bring in video files, bring in layers, and then, match those layers up. Once you understand that kind of big picture concept, you can pretty much pick up any editing software and be good to go. So
awesome. Yeah. OpenShot is one, and we've got a link to it in the PDF. My wife does the technology for our elementary schools. And so it's what they're recommending right now to all the elementary teachers who are out there trying to create videos and different things for their classes. So if you're looking at it and going, we got zero budget, OpenShot is a free video software. We're going to be giving you some free kids resources, and we're going to be giving you a free outline here to put together. So
everything
it can
you
be
need.
done.
Yeah, everything you need to get ready. Again, going to that big picture, our goal is to get you ready for Easter this weekend with your kids ministry, and we are giving you everything you need. All the visuals, all the slides, all the videos, the curriculum. I mean, we got your back. We got your back. So let's jump into that. Yeah.
Okay. So what I would recommend right out of the gates is about 5 minutes before your actual service starts, we have got a Bible quiz video that we've provided. And so this Bible quiz video, it runs for 5 minutes, and it's got 20 questions. So you can do the math and figure out how long each question is up there. But what it does is it asks a question, it shows several different answers, and then about like 15 seconds through or 10 seconds through, it'll show like a hint that people can kind of look at, and then it'll wind up giving you the answer. It'll check it off. And what it does, it's got some really like upbeat music that's fun. And so you can start your service like that, just like we might do the countdown to today's webinar. You can play this and basically have a fun, interactive 5-minute countdown timer that already is going to be telling your families the Easter story. And so there's a lot of great conversations that can happen around this as people are like, I think it's this, or I think it's that. And so just a great way to start it.
Yep.
Now, after that, we're going to jump on. And again, if you're following along in your script, we have it marked where it's like highlighted yellow parts where it's something to do. So it can be play the Bible quiz video. And then the next part is going to be the opener. And the first thing we've got on there is to introduce yourself to your class. This, I think, is one of the most important things. Again, your kids want to see you. And so if it's like, hey, it's Miss Johnson from the 3rd through 5th grade class. I'm so excited, right? Like that, just the way that we are around our kids, try as much as you can to be that and welcome everyone in. I think an awesome thing would be too, see if you can't get your senior pastor or some other people in leadership to maybe also welcome the kids. One of the ways that you can use this is you can build out this whole service, and it can be something that kids can watch during the adult service. So it's just another resource available for families, but it's still good for our kids to hear from everyone in leadership.
Something I wanted to throw in real quick here. There might be this fear of getting in front of the camera, but David pointed out something, and there's this analogy I remember a pastor friend of mine gave me, and it's always stuck with me. He sat me down. He's like, Tim, tell me 5 sermons that have changed your life forever. And, I struggled with that. It's like, I can't really think of like sermon titles that have really changed my life. But then he's like, think of 5 people that have changed your life forever. And in that context, it's like that shows you the power of relationships and how important it is for you as the kids pastor, as the Sunday school teacher, to just get over the fear of getting in front of the camera and embracing it for what it is and really just going for it, because these kids have that relationship with you. They know who you are. They know that you care about them, so that they're going to be more willing to hear this message of Easter from you more than they would somebody else. So definitely, I wanted to throw that in there because I thought it was a good, powerful moment of just to challenge yourself to get over it, because it's so important to record yourself and do that opener.
And it is. And in some ways, like with these webinars, Tim and I have been trying to practice what we preach in this document here, right? You'll notice that every week we we introduce ourselves, we welcome everybody, and then we give like a short outline of like, hey, this is what this is, and this is where we're going. And you want to do a similar thing. And we've got like a script in here where it'll say, hey, kids, welcome to our online service. You share a short thought about Easter, and then you lay out like, hey, this is what's going to happen today. We're going to have a worship song with hand motions. We're going to have an Easter Bible video, a fun Easter lesson, some activity pages, a Bible comic, and a family devotional, right? And you can say, you don't have to say everything that you're doing. And if there's certain things that really resonate with you and you're like, oh, my kids would love that, then highlight that and talk about that.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to point out, while we've given you a script of something to say, it's not the only thing you can say, and it sure isn't the only way that you can say it. It's more just meant to give you an idea of here's how you could open the service and build from there.
Yeah, a starting point. So you got your opener, you recorded that. What's the next thing on this thing here? Okay,
so if we think through the flow, we've had a countdown timer with the Bible quiz. You've welcomed everyone, had your opener. Now it's time for worship in your kids' service. And so we've included a free Bible video, worship video from Seeds Family Worship. And I think what's important to do is welcoming your kids. Before you just show the video, come on again with another video and welcome your kids and go, hey, we're going to have a chance here to worship. We've got an amazing song with hand motions that you can participate in, but take the opportunity to remind your kids what worship is, why we do it, and why we do it on Easter, right? So worship's more than just singing songs. We know it's about our heart towards God. We know it's about living the whole of our life for him. And so we can talk about that before we go into this video. And we can also remind our kids, there is a lot of reasons why we give God praise and worship during Easter, right? He came for us. He loves us. He sent his son. He conquered sin and death. He raised Jesus from the dead so that we could live with him forever, right? There's so much to talk about. You can almost have your mini sermon before you show the video itself. Now, a few things I do want to point out about this video. If you're not familiar with Seeds Family Worship, the reason why I was so excited to partner with them is that every one of their worship songs is 100% scripture, which is amazing. And so when your kids sing, they are memorizing the word of God. And we know how important that is for kids, right? For all of us, right? But if you can get the word of God hidden in a child's heart, that is such a great thing for a teacher to do. And so this song, it's called Eternal Life. It comes straight from John 3:16. It's got hand motions, and it gets at the heart of the Easter message.
Yeah, it's good. It's it kind of goes back to that thing that you were saying, David. We want everything with ShareFaith Kids is focused on being scripturally sound and based, and we've designed it in such a way intentionally that any denomination can use it. So it doesn't matter what church you are, what denomination you are. We wanted something that could just cut right to it. And I loved how you so eloquent, and I couldn't even say it.
The opposite of what you just did.
The opposite. Eloquently. There we go. Eloquently. I said it again. Thank goodness. So said it is hide the scripture in the kids' hearts, because as they grow up, they won't depart from it if it's there. So it's just an awesome little, and it's fun and engaging. It's unique music created uniquely. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Now, something else that you can do, like before you go into Easter, there's enough content here where you could take parts of it and use it throughout the week. So for example, later today, you could send families like a notice. Hey, we're going to have a kids worship service, a kids Easter service, and it's going to be ready for you on Sunday. Today, I want to get in your hands the worship video because it has hand motions. And I'd love it if you watched it once a day and practice these hand motions as a family. And so there's ways to use these resources to kind of build a whole week's worth of Easter content.
A question for you. Can churches play these videos on their Facebooks? Like, are they allowed to play that video there?
Yeah. So what we're asking is that you play these videos on like private Facebook pages or private, on your YouTube channel, but have the video shown set to hidden, so that it's not like broadcasted and available for everyone to take. But Seeds has been great. And they've said, hey, you can live stream these videos. You can go Facebook Live. But what we do ask is that it's on your church's specific group, or that it's on set to hidden on a YouTube channel.
Yeah, unlisted is the word.
Unlisted.
That's the one you're looking for. I got you.
Pardon my ineloquence. Okay, so got our worship video. Now, probably we come to my favorite part of every ShareFaith Kids lesson, and that is the Bible video itself. So at the heart of every ShareFaith Kids lesson is a Bible video. And we've got an amazing narrator named Malcolm Hillgartner. He's the voice of every ShareFaith Kids video. Just amazing what he does with his voice and the stories he tells. And then each one of them features artwork from an artist named Corey Godbey. And he's just got a style of art that's vibrant and it's beautiful, and it like just captures you and takes you into a story. And then we take the voice and we take the artwork and we build a story that invites your kids to discover the Bible, maybe in a way that they haven't seen it or heard it before. And so this lesson that we're going to be sharing with you guys is called The Empty Tomb. And it just tells the story of Jesus, the events of Easter, culminating with the tomb being empty and the conversation with the angel, and then a bit of what that means for us. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do is, rather than just going from worship and then just throwing a video on, that could be a little confusing for a viewer. So instead, you finish worship. Now you're going to shoot another video of you talking, and you let your class know, wasn't that great doing hand motions together? I sure hope your parents did. If they didn't, have some fun with it. Get them to do it next time. Now we're going to watch a video about the Easter story. And this is an amazing story, an amazing video. What I want you kids to do is imagine what it was like if you were there. How would you have felt if you had seen the events of Easter? What would have made you sad? What would have made you happy? Once Jesus rose from the dead, what would you have done? Who would you have told? Like, invite them to be a part of the story. And once you've set it up and kind of given them a bit of direction, then cut to the video and let it play.
I love it. And as you can see on the screen right now, we're playing the video in the background. You can't hear any of the audio, but there is that voice and that story and that music that just brings the kids in and really engages them in that visual way, which is super cool. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add other than This is amazing. So
all right. So you've watched the video. Now we're going to shift to some artwork slides. And this is one of my favorite things. This was not the original intent of the ShareFaith Kids lesson. We were just like, hey, we've got artwork slides. We should just share them with teachers. But what teachers started doing with the artwork slides is they would show them to their kids, and they would have kids retell the story that they had just watched. And I was like, that's good. So what we just now say, this is what you do with a ShareFaith Kids lesson. After you've shown your children the video, you can come on again and, film another video and say, all right, you've seen the video. How well do you remember it? I'm going to do a little quiz myself, and we're going to talk through some of the big moments in this story. And so you can introduce each slide, show the slide, and say, I'm going to give you and your parents or you and your families 10 seconds to talk about what happened. And then if you want to share a thought of your own, you can do that. Now, technically, how you build this in your video, there's a couple different ways. You could, one at a time, bring these slides in and just record your voice and lay that over. But there's also some great screen recording software out there that's free. And so what you could do is bring the slideshow up on your computer, go full screen with it, record your screen, and then you can be timing yourself and just talking. And so like, hey, here's our first scene. Why don't you spend 10 seconds and talk about it? Wait your 10 seconds and go, this was my favorite part of the scene when Jesus did this, or, whatever happened. And so that screen recording is just something that you can take as one big element and bring into your video.
Yeah, a cool way. And I love what you're talking about there, because remember, this is our goal is to help you do Easter online and teach lessons online going forward and beyond just Easter. So it's this idea of, here are these visuals, and it's almost this. I guess what I love about all of what we're sharing right now, David, is because you went through and you created this huge outline, and it's like this is a template that every church can use every week going forward until things get back to normal. But even then, when they do, it's like you can then take this to the classroom when the churches are allowed to kind of gather again, and it's safe. But I love what you're doing. I love that idea, the recording your screen, talking about it, bringing you back in there. It's good.
Yeah, and a couple things then. One, this, like you're saying, Tim, it's a template. So I'm not saying this is the only way you can put this service together. And some people are just like, no, I'd rather have the Bible video here, or I'd rather do the artwork slides there. And that's like awesome, right? Like, make it your own, make it whatever you want it to be. And that's one of the ways that ShareFaith Kids has been designed, where we go, here's an outline and a template and a ton of resources. If you've got that creative streak and you're like, I got some ideas, then take those ideas and make something great. Another thing with the screen recording, there is a free online application called ApowerSoft, and we've got a link to that as well in the PDF. Again, this is paper, what I have, but there is a link. That bit's getting old, huh, Tim? It's just dumb. There is a...
It's Monday. I think we're all giving you a little bit of grace.
Please give me a second helping.
But the grace is running out, David.
Okay, then I'll get to the meat and the potatoes. ApowerSoft, it's a great free online screen recording software. Again, I got that from my wife. That's what they're telling all the elementary teachers to use in our district. So we're going to pass that along to you as well.
Another one is Loom. You can check out Loom as well.
How do you spell that?
Loom. I was supposed to say 00. It's not 00. It's Loom. Loom.
You need the grace, man, not me.
I need more coffee. I need more coffee.
L00M. Okay.
Eloquently speaking over here.
We've had a lot of visual elements up to this point. Now our script really kind of pivots and it comes back to you as the teacher. And we're going to have you film your own lesson around the Easter story. And so we've got like a little intro here where we say like, hey, great job on the Easter story. Now I want to share why this is such an important story, why we celebrate, and what the Easter story means to us. We've provided for you our curriculum file, and there's a lot in there. It gives you some background on the story. It gives you some teaching points, some discussion topics. But really what I would love to see happen is if you spend some time with this curriculum and then you kind of find what God is speaking to you and specifically your kids, what he wants you to say. I've always kind of had like a love-hate thing with curriculum, especially if a curriculum's too scripted, because no curriculum ever has your voice. No curriculum ever speaks the way that you speak to your kids. And so I always want to go, end of the day, again, what your kids ministry has that no kids ministry has is you. So be listening to the Lord on that. We do have 3 big ideas that we talk about in there. One is that all of the promises of God point to Jesus, that Jesus is the answer to every promise of God, and that Jesus is at the center of God's story. And you can, if you want to take your kids to the big story of creation, the fall, incarnation, Jesus coming at Christmas, redemption, Jesus and all things that happen on Easter, and then restoration, how through Jesus and his great work on the cross, all things will be made new. And so those are some kind of guideposts that we give you, but I sound like a broken record. What I would love to see happen is that you speak from the heart. You tell your kids why the Easter story is so important. You tell your kids how the Easter story has changed your life, and you tell them how it can change their life. And if that happened, if those watching did that, I would be, just for me, that's like everything I dream of. That's why I do what I do, is to help empower teachers to share the gospel with their kids.
Good. Good, David.
Let's see here. Nope. My tip, I have like tips and tricks, but my tip was like, make it your own. So I kind of belabored that point.
You did great. You nailed that one.
All right.
So after you got the curriculum, after you do your lesson, then it's a perfect opportunity to move into a question and answer type of part of your big video and your big service. So we even have Q&A slides for that, don't we, David?
Yeah, and so typically the way that these slides work when we're in normal circumstances is that all the kids are gathered together, and up on a screen or on a slide, we walk kids through those artwork slides again, but then we'll have question and answer slides. And so some of the questions are like retention based. What happened here? The answer is this. And then some of them are application, where the question is more like, what would you do if something like this happened? And it's meant to help a child interact with it, engage it, and figure out with an adult, how would I apply this to my life? So we have questions for 7 different artwork slides. There's always 2 questions for each one of those slides. And then in our curriculum packet, we have a discussion guide for the Q&A section. So another great opportunity, if you're sending out kind of a preview email for this lesson that you're building, maybe you do send that worship video, and you can also send parents the Q&A discussion guide and go, hey, we're going to have a Q&A discussion that's going to be part of this lesson. I want you as parents to read through this, or guardians to read through this and be aware, because along the way we include teacher notes where it gives a bit of insight into those application questions and helps a parent or an adult or whoever the leader is guide a child through that conversation. Now, how do you actually do this? And again, there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can, like we said before, bring in the individual slides and record yourself talking over. You can go the route of doing the screen share again, right? Like that same approach where you do the recording of your screen and walk through the slides. The first couple can be quick. I'm going to ask a question, show the answer, and then maybe another like, hey, let's have 10 seconds here where you and your family talk about this question and discuss it yourself.
Yeah,
another,
and I love.
Yeah.
You just said it. Is another way that you could go about that is you could invite the families to have this discussion with the kids. You could provide these questions, like you said earlier, but even just doing like a live like Zoom meeting with the families, or right there live on Facebook. You could do it that way. Like after the service, you could like jump on a Facebook Live and just take some questions live and just engage them that way. I think there's a great opportunity to mix even a pre-recorded service with a live little segment at the end even. So
yeah, I really like that, because you might go, I don't know, the slides aren't, I don't know if this is feeling right. You'll know as you're putting it together, you might just be like, this doesn't feel like a fit for me to package it all into one video. Then you can totally take those Q&A discussion slides and, like Tim's saying, do a Zoom meeting, right? So what we're doing right now is Tim sharing his slideshow, right? And then we can see and interact with it. So it could be just like that, where families come into a meeting together and we show the different slides, and it becomes a more interactive conversational. And I know that's one of my favorite parts always of being in kids ministry. I serve at my church now as like a helper in the kids ministry, and they always give me my curriculum, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. Because I just want to like have a conversation with the kids, because it gets so wild, and they say like the most amazing out of left field things. And so that's my favorite part of any kids service, is the conversation with the kids. And so you might be like, I really want that. I like myself talking, and I like a pre-recorded service, but I want some interaction. And so that's a direction that you could go that I think would work well as well.
It's kind of like the best of both worlds, right? You can do the pre-recorded, but then there's some parts of the service that you could just do live at the end after the pre-recorded service, and you just do this online live experience and really just bring people together. So you do the question and answer, which is fantastic, and you can kind of do that in your service. Then you always want to do like a final thought, right, David?
Yep. Yeah, you want like a big wrap up. And so in every ShareFaith Kids lesson, we have 3 slides that kind of bring our lesson to a close. We have a big idea slide, a memory verse slide, and a closing prayer slide. And they're all like designed to go with the theme of the lesson and have the same kind of colors and all of that. Now, this is where we get into that idea of like making it your own. You might go, I want to start my service with the big idea and the memory verse, and then I want to come back around to them at the end. And it's like, fantastic. duplicate those slides and move them up in this video that you're making. And you can do it kind of however you want. And then a thing that we do, like in the classrooms with our closing prayer slides, is a lot of times we'll get volunteers to read them. And that's a way where maybe you could say, hey, kids, I want you at home to read this right along with me. And you could do that with all of these slides. Go, our big idea is that Jesus wasn't in the tomb because he is alive and with us always. I want us to all read this together. Kids, parents, everyone watching, and you read it together and you share that moment. So there's ways to get interaction that aren't always, live in a room together.
Yeah, which is a great segue to our next point, David. It's almost like you intentionally did that, but it's take Easter home with you. And so ShareFaith Kids has put together a lot of resources available, from printable activities that include things like coloring pages. David, you know all this stuff better than it. Connect the dots, comic books, drawing pages. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You want to tell them what is available in this free, like what is, you can download right now, what's in that pack that we're giving away for Easter this year.
Man, eloquently put, Tim.
So eloquent. I can say the word now, eloquent. I'm going to just use it the rest of the day.
You're on fire. No, yeah, Tim's right. Every one of our lesson, it has a bunch of printable activities in there. So coloring pages, crossword pages, spot the difference, word search puzzles, Bible mazes, bookmarks. I write them down because I forget them. There's enough in there. But we also have some bonus Easter activities that we put in as well. Connect the dots, create a comic, a drawing page, picture match, and a word unscramble. So you can take all of these elements, again, maybe going to that day one email, or it could be, Wednesday, you go, hey, we've already sent you the worship video for you to review, and we've sent parents the discussion guide for the Q&A. Now we want to give you all of the activities that are coming with our Easter lesson. So be sure and print these out and have them ready to go. Parents, you can just have these set aside so that kids are ready to color and interact during the service if they want, or, for the day, for the remainder of the day at home. So those are the printable activities, but we also have some other great things that go along with this lesson. One of my favorites are the comic books that we create. So we have a digital Easter comic book, and that's available to you as a PDF. It takes all of the artwork from that lesson and really just puts it to an incredible design. Do we have a picture of that, Tim? That Easter comic?
We do have a picture of that, actually.
Okay.
It is right here. Bam! So there it is, the digital comic book right there.
Yeah, it'll allow your kids to kind of see it again, and it takes some of the excitement and the look and the feel of the video, but it puts it in that comic format. It's great like on an iPad where you just kind of have the screen filled with it. And it's another thing where kids go, I want to be in the Easter story some more. I want to explore it further. And that's a great thing. That's what we want as parents, right? We want our kids engaged. We want our kids hungry to learn more. And so the comic will walk them through the Easter story. And then our lesson also comes with a family devotional as well. And our family devotionals, one of the ways that you can get to them, on every one of our coloring pages, we have a QR code on there. Tim, maybe you can throw up the next slide here and I'll just talk through it. So you can see on the empty tomb coloring page there, we've got a QR code and an unlock code. So parents can get to the family devotional that way. We've also provided a direct link to the family devotional as well, if you just want to share that link out. They've been like off the charts popular right now. So we want to make sure you have a way to get to it and share it in each. Whoa, go back. Steady. Come on now. I wanted to talk through what's in the family devotional.
All right. Sorry. My bad.
Goodness. All right.
I'm sorry.
So in every family devotional, we got a Bible video in there. We've got a place where you can download all of the activities. If you want to get the activities to parents that way, you can be like, hey, here's the family devotional. You can download the activities from it. It's got interactive discussion questions, a Bible reading, a closing prayer, just a lot of great stuff in there. And so in your final part of your Easter sermon, you can even do a recording of yourself saying, hey, this has been a great Easter service, and I'm so glad you joined us. I want to let you know about all of the great things that you can do now to continue exploring the Easter story at home. So we've made a way, and however you're going to do it, we've made a way for you to get these activity pages, this family devotional, this Easter Bible comic, and it really becomes a thing where kids can go like, yeah, I'm excited, right? Like this is the best Easter service I've been to. And that's what we're hoping, that it's just an engaging, exciting thing. A final thing on the family devotionals. Right now, ShareFaith Kids is offering what we call the 30-day family devotional challenge because we want families to have something after Easter that keeps them in the Word of God. And so we've taken 30 of our lessons and made available all 30 of those family devotionals. And so you can share a link to that page with your families. They sign up for these family devotionals, and then every day via email, we will email them a new family devotional. And you can kind of kickstart a challenge in your church where together you journey through the Word of God for 30 days. And that's an exciting thing.
Yeah, I love it, David. All of this is available to you in that those links that we provided, that is a direct link to this full pack of resources, everything that we went through, including the outline. There's a link to it as well. So if you're wanting that, you want to put your service together, we've given you the tools that you need to kind of do that. And I did see some questions, especially this question from Evan, who's asking, you said earlier that all the video software operates in a similar way once you get the concept. Would you guys be able to do a cast about using a video editing software for newbies, or could you point us to anything helpful? We will definitely get some links out to you, and I'll try to find some that kind of teach the overall idea for video editing. And if we can put something together, maybe we even do, like you were saying, a webinar specifically on that. If that's something that a lot of people would love to see, definitely let us know. One of the easiest ways would be just hit number 1 right now in the chat. Just blow up the chat if that's something that you'd like to see. Me and David will see if there's a way that we can kind of figure out how to put that together for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I just want to see ones right now. We'll make it happen. Okay. But that was a good question. But we'll definitely, bare minimum, we'll get you those video links to kind of teach.
Yeah, see, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for.
I just want to let everyone know. So this is what I was doing while you were sharing everything about the family devotional, which is why I accidentally made the slide go away, is I'm in my head right now processing how we would pull it off. And I think there could be a way that we could do it. So it's just, maybe we do it, David. Maybe we just commit to it.
We could. I mean, we could just build it out live. That might be an interesting thing, is if people want to watch us build it out live and shoot it, that's definitely something we could take a look at, right?
Yeah.
We've been crazy enough to take it this far. What's stopping us?
Webinars, what's the next step? Let's just do it.
They're still letting us do it. They haven't, kicked us off yet.
We're committing. We don't know when. We don't know where. Maybe probably tomorrow.
We certainly don't know how. Okay. Final thing before we go. So let's say you look at this and you go, this is great, and I would be interested in more of these resources in our church. ShareFaith Kids right now is having an incredible Easter sale where everything is 25% off on our yearly plans. And one thing I do want to mention, we have 2 plans. One of them is basic and one is essentials. And the essentials has all of our lessons, and then it also has the comics and the worship videos and the Spanish videos, but it also includes ShareFaith media. So everything that Tim does, all of the bulletins and the sermon bumpers and just all that you do is also included in there, which is an incredible value. I don't know if you want to talk just a little bit about ShareFaith media since I brought it up.
Yeah, I appreciate the setup there for me. I appreciate that. But, David definitely brings a good point. So with ShareFaith Kids, if you go with ShareFaith Kids Essentials, you get everything that is in a ShareFaith Kids lesson, which is everything that we've made available to you today, including, if it's with Essentials, including those worship videos and the comic books and all of that. So what's awesome about ShareFaith is if you go with like the ShareFaith Kids Essentials plan, you also get media with it as well. So with media, we have 90,000 resources available. We have title graphics, we give Photoshops, we have an amazing tool called the ShareFaith Designer that allows you to edit these designs right from our website, which is amazing. You also get videos, you get motion backgrounds, you get worship backgrounds, you get social media graphics. That's been the big one, David, is we've gotten a lot of feedback that churches have been needing to engage their church throughout the week. And how do they go about doing that? Especially if you don't have like a full-time graphic designer or whatever the case might be. We have a design team here at ShareFaith, and I told them when this season of the church started happening and everyone was going online, I was like, we need to create social graphics that are designed not just for this time, but really focused right now on engaging the church on the daily, on the week-to-week basis throughout that. So
fantastic.
Check it out.
Fantastic.
And last little bit, I'm going to plug it because it's awesome. We got a sale going on right now for ShareFaith. So it's just go to the website. It's 25% off. I think that's the biggest sale we'll do all year. So check that out. And
yeah. So final things, because we're running out of time. First, thank you so much. Please be asking questions in the chat. If there's something that we didn't cover or you have a question about, Tim and I will stay on and answer those questions. I can see the moderators doing their moderating, so that's encouraging. I do want to give a quick preview again of what's going on. Again, Monday through Thursday, we are having daily live streaming seminars hosted by churchstreaming.tv.
They're called seminars now?
Yes! Seminar webinars. They're incredible.
About saying I can't say eloquent and you can't say webinar, David?
Seminar webinars. So we've got Monday through Thursday live streaming seminar webinars. We've got on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about mastering mass communication, something that I could use some help with apparently. We'll be talking about text, email, voicemail, social media. We have a bonus webinar. Yes, Tim, I said bonus webinar on Tuesday.
Love some bonus webinars
for parishes. Wednesday, rethinking risks, cybersecurity. Excited for that conversation. We'll be talking with Ryan Carter from Protect My Ministry. And then Thursday, we'll come back together for our 8th. I think it will be at that point. Our 8th webinar.
I've lost count.
What day is it? So our final webinar where we'll just recap everything going into Good Friday and Easter, some last minute tips and tricks, and then also asking for your guys' prayer requests and seeing how we might be able to serve you in the final days before Easter.
Yep.
Also, last thing, we'll go again for all of the resources that we have mentioned. That's info.ministrybrands.com/ministryonline. You can find it there. And if you have any questions specifically about a product or a service or just something you would like to direct to someone, reach out to us at caretteam@ministrybrands.com.
So good. So good. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We will make all of these resources available. The replays will be available. And then just let us know how we can, that last day, that Thursday, the last hurrah before Easter weekend, definitely show up for that one. We're excited to give some last-minute tips and tricks for the Easter weekend. But then in addition to that, David mentioned it, is we really want to just, how can we pray for you as a company? How can we pray for you for this season? Because it is the biggest weekend of the year for churches statistically. And what that translates to, it's the biggest opportunity to reach people for Christ. And we want to do, that's why we're doing these daily webinars. That's why we've been doing them, is we want to do everything we can as a company to help you reach people for Christ, give you the tools and the techniques and the tips and the tricks and everything in between that you need to just to do that part, because we can't. We're a support to you. That's what we do as a company. We're a support to you. We don't do the work of the ministry. We help support the work of the ministry. And that's what we love so much. And everyone here at Ministry Brands, we're insanely passionate about that, is we are passionate about helping you, the church, support you with technology. So that being said, come back tomorrow. We're going to have a great webinar, and we hope to see you all tomorrow.
Tim, glad you got to spend today with me.
I'm glad you got to spend today with me, David.
I felt like we were extra eloquent today.
I will have to say,
You
though,
know?
today's guests could have been better. I think
Oh,
tomorrow we need to
rough.
get better guests.
Who booked those guys? I mean,
I don't know. They
yeah.
keep coming back, though. I think people are trying to get rid of them. They just keep coming
Yeah,
back.
they're tough. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to tomorrow.